Today, we talk to John Malott, CEO and founder of Snap. Hey, John, it's great to have you.
Man, it's my pleasure, brother. We finally connected. I love what you're doing, man. Glad to be here.
Well, our first time meeting, I guess we met way back in a different company, but we met a couple years ago at church, at Impact Church for a while. We had a few words and took it a great service. But I want to get right into this because I know if people are like me, their attention span is really short. So let me just tell people just a little bit about you. Then I'm going to let you fill in the blanks. But John Malott is one of the top earners, really, of all time in direct sales. And he's been a top distributor, has made millions of dollars. And now he's the CEO and founder of his new company that's about to launch, Snap. And John, tell us a little bit more about yourself. What do people need to know about you, John?
Yeah, man. Well, you kind of summed up. I don't have all the things that society says you're supposed to have to be successful. And I tell people all the time that network marketing actually saved my life. For some people, network marketing, did this, did that. For me, it literally saved my life. My first felony arrest, I was 15 years old. Spent most of my young life locked up in detention facilities, juvenile detention facilities. By 17, what we now know today as the crack epidemic had hit our neighborhood pretty hard. It was my actual first stint into entrepreneurship, but I didn't get the memo. Don't get high on your own supply. By 17, I have a heart attack from smoking crack. We didn't call it crack, we called it freebasing cocaine back then. But anyhow, and that led me into a drug rehabilitation facility where a guy by the name of Dave, who was a former outlaw motorcycle gang member, this guy saw more of me than I saw myself. It was the first time I really had someone say, look, they held the mirror up to me, said, you're here because you made a decision to be here. This is all you. You can blame the government, the police, your parents, teachers, everything else. It is you 1,000%. But he did that, which shook me up. It was finally someone that wasn't preaching to me and telling me I'm a loser and I'm all these other things. He was actually doing it in a way to say, look, this is who you are, but this isn't who you have to be. And you can make some changes. He was the first guy to give me a personal development book, how to win friends and influence people. And that book was the seed that was planted that started to change everything. Now, things didn't happen right away. It took me a long time. I still had one foot in the hood. My last felony arrest, I was 24 years old, sitting on the bullpen floor in the Milwaukee County Jail. I had some decisions to make at that point. I was facing some serious adult time. And on that floor is when I really made this. It was July 4th, 1993. I'll never forget as long as I live. I sat in the bullpen for 4 days, just waiting to go to court. And it was there I made the decision. Yes, that's who I was. That's not who I would be. And what kept replaying in my mind was my daughter. And something that Dave had said to me many years before that in drug rehab, he said, a good man leaves inheritance for his children's children. Now I write everything down because I'm getting old. I don't want to forget stuff. But that just played over and over in my head for 4 days. And so when I finally got through all that legal mess, nobody would hire me. We don't open doors for drug addicts, dropouts, even if it's former, even all this was former. And network marketing, I didn't even know what network marketing was, but I got invited to an event and they said they wanted me and they were excited to have me. And I was like, are you sure? Because nobody else wants me. And I was like, something's up with these people. I'm holding on to my wallet saying these people are way too damn nice. But anyhow, long story longer, that was the beginning of me getting into network marketing because I couldn't go anywhere else. But that's where I learned, communication. It took me 7 years, man. People don't realize it took me 7 years to just crack $100,000. My first 100,000 took 7 years. My first year I only made $4,000. I was the laughing stock. It's like, are you rich yet? And I'm still rolling in my Pontiac 2000, two-tone, one-tone rust, one-tone dirt. It just wasn't going anywhere. But the next year it went to 16,000, and by the 7th year I made 116,000. Then it went to over 200,000, and then $250,000 a month residual income. Nobody was laughing anymore. They had their hands out, looked like cups, showing up to my house. So things changed. For me, it was fast, but I lost my sister to a heroin overdose. My brother's been in and out of prison his entire life, heroin addict as well. So out of the three coming from one household, it was network marketing that really gave me the tools and gave me the mentorship and gave me all the things that I just didn't have access to before that. And I would not have had access to coming out of that. And again, that's why I say network marketing literally saved my life, because I know where my friends that I came up with are, and I was heading down that same path. So it's
Well,
been
I love your story. I love your story. Uh, Joseph was in jail for 13 years, right? And before he came the second in command and ruler of Egypt. And here you, so I got to plug my friend's book. It kind of reminds me, I was kind of watching a video of yours, which I read. Just go to John Malott and look at some stuff on YouTube. He's a phenomenal trainer, and not just sales and not just marketing, but just in life. And so, my friend wrote this book, From Prison to Penthouse. So I'll have to hook you guys up. And he's got a condo. I bought a condo a year and a half ago in the same building, and he's way up in the sky with me. But anyways, it's just amazing how things can change. And, that's the blessing that God gives. And so I think that's, where people, you don't look like the average CEO, and a lot of people feel like, well, I don't look like the average, or what's in it for me? How can I change overnight? And all the things you went through, John, is really incredible, because now, like, you're one of the best speakers and trainers that I have ever heard. I mean, you're very motivating, but it's not just motivating, it's content that you can take that content and literally apply it to areas of your life. So I love that about you.
Well, I appreciate it. I had someone, I get offended when people call me a motivational speaker. My wife is like, why do you get so offended? I said, well, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm an entrepreneur that speaks. There's only one reason for me to ever speak, and that's to move the needle. That's to create excitement. That's to create volume. That's to get my family out of the neighborhood. That's to move us in the next direction. Otherwise, I have no interest in that. Matter of fact, I'm still scared to death. People don't realize I've been on stage in front of 30,000 plus people doing my thing, and I don't like it. I would prefer not to do that, but I know it's a necessary thing. But when you can bring people together, and what the reason I got on the stage in the first place is because I saw people that were very dispassionate delivering information about our company. And I'm sitting in the audience like, dude, the company's great and you're going to love it. And I was like, what in the, and then I would complain to the support team, the support people, and they would say, well, if you don't like it, then you do it. And I'm like, oh, that's all right. They let them do it. And I just come back, and finally I couldn't take it anymore. And I said, if you're going to do it, man, you got to, it was, once your blood gets that particular thing, and it's very hard for people to stop you, you know what I mean? And that I had the energy. I didn't really have the wisdom. I didn't have the words. I didn't know how to put it all together. But again, it was network marketing that leaders were there saying, look, here's the steps, do this, this, and this, and here's where you'll end up. And that changed everything for me. Now, when I'm teaching, I'm like, not only do I want to get, I believe inspired people don't need motivation. What they need is they need tactics, they need techniques, they need to develop some skills. And I just break everything down to its lowest common denominator, because I don't have a college degree, or, I dropped out of high school in the 10th grade, but I want everything to be so simple that I can scale it. Complexity doesn't scale well. So when I speak to people, I speak to them the way, hey man, if we're having a conversation, at a bar over a beer or whatever, I'm trying to talk the same way from the stage. And I think people relate to that, and I definitely am not your average CEO, 27 years building in the field. I went from being, the week before we launched the company, I believe I was probably the top recruiter in the company, even though I was the top income earner as well. I've never been out. I love it, man. I live for, the drive. I love bringing in a new customer. I love bringing on a new ambassador. And I'm still doing it now at the CEO position. Our team finds me right next to them, bringing in people into the deal. Because it doesn't make any sense to be in the ivory tower pushing buttons, telling people what to do if you ain't doing it yourself. And then I used to do a lot of consulting for these CEOs, and they would drive me nuts, because I'm like, man, you are so out of tune with what's really happening in the world. You're teaching 1990 techniques in 2020, 2021. I mean, get out of here. You're destroying the people that are excited about the opportunity to go and win, but they can't win because you can't win with 1990 techniques in 2021. So anyway,
hey, listen, I love that. I'm going to stick with that. So one of the things that I've been consulting companies and CEOs as well. And what I love about you, John, is one of the things I always talk about, there's really 5 key things I think you need. And there's more, but there's 5 big things. When I meet with the CEO of a company, and I tell them there's 5 really things you need in network marketing company. One is you need the leadership, and you got to have the right management team in place. And then you got to have the right distributors in the field to run that, because they set the culture with ethics, moral fiber, and they have to be current. These distributors have to be current. Now, one of the issues that I've been having trouble with, and I'm not saying you can't make it as a company, but I probably would have a hard time ever going to a company where the CEO had no experience as a distributor in the field, because it's exhausting teaching. Your failure rate, I'm not saying you're going to 100% fail, but it's hard. So you need a distributor, you need a CEO, I think, that really understands that's current as a distributor. And number two, you need a wow product. And number three, you need the marketing support, the content, the videos that support all that. But here's what I like about you is I'm so exhausted talking to CEOs because that have no experience in network marketing, or they hire a guy that had success in 1990, maybe made 50 or 60 million, is not current. So let's talk about your company. This is a great segment, because I think one of the things that you bring is that you are one of the top earners in network marketing, but you're current. And now you have a new role. You're the CEO and founder of a company called OSnap. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. Like we are fresh, relevant. What my vision has always been is to take, of course, we talk a lot about high tech and high touch coming together. It's so played out to speak about it today because everybody says it. But when you go to these companies, they don't have a tool that's high tech. They're still, it just doesn't work. And so they might as well still be using fax on demand, fax machines and VHS tapes. The way I see it, it's annoying, and it hurts the people in the field without them knowing. So you could have a great product, but if you're not tapping in, like social media today, I see network marketers and their social media is embarrassing. Yet social media is one of the greatest tools for bringing people together, gathering information, disseminating information, and moving people. Yet network marketers, I'm being a little blanket here, not all of them, but you get my point. But so many of them, it's so dated, and they got their people out there scaring people away instead of attracting people to them. Their post, everything about what they're doing is scaring people off. And so we decided early on, let's figure out the social media game so that we can not only master it ourselves, but then to teach other people. Because that's my whole thing: teach to teach to teach. Let's be able to teach people how to create their own brand. Because I think network marketing companies are so afraid that if you become, like, some individuals become bigger than the company, their brand, and the companies hate it. They makes them nervous. They get scared. They think, oh, they're going to run off with all our people. I'm like, get over that scarcity mentality. You want these bigger than life people. You want these people to build these brands. So we focus heavily on building the brands. And that's why OSnap came in, because I was talking to these CEOs. I'm like, you're nervous about them doing anything. If they want to open up a restaurant, their lifelong dream, instead of embracing that and encouraging that, you're putting them down. If someone leaves the company, everybody's throwing rocks at them. And 2 days ago, they were the greatest thing ever. They go to another company and now they're vilified, they're terrible, their integrity. I just got so tired of it. It's like, why do we play this game? So that a lot of me starting the company was because it was basically a mentor of mine said, okay, John, we'll stop complaining and put your money and your time and your energy where your mouth is. Because it's not a cheap date to launch one of these things, and there's a lot of time involved in it. But my wife and I said, all right, let's do it. So we partnered with Liqueur Nutraceuticals, one of the big powerhouses, and we've got a new delivery technology called Snap Packs. Thus the name OSnap. No more hard to swallow pills, messy powder.
Great name. That's a great name. That's a great name.
Yeah. So it's all, we're playing on it. You'll see like we've had a lot of stuff go viral prior to us building OSnap, but we're now attaching the OSnap brand to it. And we're giving this stuff along with, we got Click Funnels. We're teaching people how to use funnels, Survey Monkey, all these different things we put together in one app. And like all the high tech tools that everybody who's building a business today should be using. And we're just catching network marketers up to it. So they like automated processes. Why wouldn't you have a whole process? What if my job was to just simply put people into the process, and then they would go through a funnel, and then the qualified ones would come out on the other end? Why do I have to make a list of all these people? And then I don't even know how to call them because my upline doesn't know how to call them either. I got to call them, which people don't pick up their phones anymore. Why can't I send them a message on social media or text message and then go through a very streamlined process? I go put someone else in the pipeline, but the process is now working for me. I don't understand why that is so wrong. Why these companies don't embrace this stuff? Because how do you think they're building e-commerce and drop shipping traditional businesses? That's what they're doing. So we're taking the best of digital marketing, e-commerce, drop shipping, and network marketing and putting it together. And then we eliminate all the gotchas and the comp plans. So if you just want to get customers, that's all you want to do. So many of these comp plans, they penalize you, man. It's like, oh, I got to have this person on the left, this person on the right, the sun and the moon got aligned just right. And then maybe I'll get a commission off my mother, who was my first customer. I never understood that, man. So we took the gotchas out. We created for me, I like speed, and I like speed. Momentum comes from speed. Money comes from speed. And I love energy. So we created a simple product, simple system, front end, back end, everything linked together. So we got a multi-billion-dollar backbone in a startup company, which that there's some advantages to that. Not knocking a company that's been around forever, but there's some advantages to bringing a new, fresh delivery technology, new, fresh compensation, new, fresh products, new, fresh leadership. Crazy, wild ass CEO that I tell people all the time, I'm not for everybody. I'm not for the faint of heart. I'm not. Some people are like, damn, I don't know if I want the CEO with all the tattoos up there, talking shit about everybody. But anyhow, we've got something. We got something very special, very, very relevant, very new. And I'll just leave you. I'll kind of tell you what we do inside of there. So we got, and I think this will go for any network marketer. We have 6 pillars, and they're very simple. The same thing. We own a private jet company. We own a pharmaceutical company that's going public next month. And we follow the same thing. It's people, product, process, community, culture, compensation. People always first, compensation always last. I see amateur network marketers coming all the time. Comp plan. I'm like, listen, Sparky, you could be paying out 90% in your comp plan. It doesn't mean that you got a great company. You can sell dog crap and pay out 90%. And a lot of companies do. I don't care about the comp plan until you tell me about who's running the show. What's the integrity? What's the leadership? What's their track record? I want to know the people. I want to see that product. Is that product going to move the needle? Would I buy that product if there was not a business attached to it? And a lot of these companies, you got to ask yourself, if I go get that product on Amazon for half the price and free shipping, why would I buy it from you? So these questions all have to be asked. And then I want a culture of us lifting each other, coming together. I have a no dickhead policy in my company as a CEO. It's a no dickhead policy. That's the name of it. It's pretty clear. It's pretty simple. If you're a big shot network marketer and you're the greatest thing ever the world has ever seen, this company's probably not for you, because it's right on my hand. It says ego is the enemy. And because I had such a big ego early on, it just hurts relationships. It creates, in this company, and when you put people in, you're going to have politics, you're going to have some, no matter what. But we come in with the intention, right? We're building a foundation on, like, look, that's not what we do here. If you want to play that game, go somewhere else. If you want to be the biggest big shot, you want all the spotlight on you, maybe not here. And anyway, so we're trying to build something very different and really be the model for what could happen and what should happen. So when I go and leave my legacy, look, I didn't realize I could do a whole training off of my body. Anyways, I get excited about this. You get me worked up, man, because what you're doing, you're exposing and you're bringing content and information that's positive, because people have such a poor outlook, or they see network marketing as something dirty, or like we have what I call entrepreneur supremacists out there today. You know what I'm talking about? They're an entrepreneur, but they put down network marketing as if somehow your entrepreneurial hustle is better than mine or better than someone else's. It's the same thing how racism is built on. And usually all that is built upon ignorance. So guys like you, Troy, and what I'm priding myself on more and more is like shedding light on how positive and how this industry changed my life. Literally, I would have been robbing you, or doing something terrible had network marketing not come into my life and offer me an opportunity. There's not a better place. The average distributor is dropping like $300, bro. Nobody's losing their damn house on a $300 investment, but they're doing it in every other industry, because they're, real estate, cars, financial industry. But here, $300 taught me all these things that made me a world-class entrepreneur, that allowed me to parlay that massive cash flow into other big investments. Anyways, I got off on a tangent, but I'm gonna turn it back.
Hey, John, I love it, because it's all about when it gets in your heart, it gets in your feet, and that's what you really need. You need, and one of the things that you touched on a lot of things, but is about systems. I mean, there's a lot of companies out there. You think about, there's companies out there with terrible products, but they had the right systems, right? And when you come down, I think people have been so ignorant, especially in the United States, is that they don't realize that that the industry has really changed, right? Is that technology and they didn't think it was going to affect network marketing. So what's refreshing for you to hear is that how are people buying? What are the systems? Because systems are the key. Netflix over to Blockbuster, Uber has replaced the taxi cab. And so if you don't think your industry is going to be replaced, it can be replaced very, very fast overnight. I love the fact that you allow people to be people. It's everyone has their own business. So we know that what did branding yourself do? Branding yourself. Why do people pay $5 for Starbucks instead of the same coffee that's $1.50 at the gas station, right? So branding yourself, having the right systems is very refreshing that you're having all this technology. So it's not just technology in the product, John. You want to have technology in the systems. And so we know that systems are what's going to help your company thrive. It's going to help you stay current and fresh, having the funnel systems into digital marketing. Because, Blockbuster, their product was no worse than Netflix. They just had a better system, right? And so that's refreshing that you're coming out here. And as far as how you look and whatever, is like, look, I think people want a place to win. I think that it's great. I think it's awesome because listen, there's a lot of people that feel different, okay? There's a lot of people that feel different. And it's not just how they look. There's a lot of people that look different, but they feel different. And what people want is they want, 1, can I trust this guy? 2, do I respect who he is? And 3, do I believe that the product and service can change the course of my situation? I think you touched a lot of those angles. So before I let you go, let's go to the distributor now, okay? Because I think this was a great segue of what you said, is that if you're, here we are in 2021, it's a new world. It already was a new world, network marketing. John, you adapted that very well, but of course, COVID has hit. What tips can you give to a distributor? What do you look for? And I know, into a company, what is someone getting into network marketing? How do they get into a duplicatable system? How are you able to duplicate yourself?
Well, again, for me, simplicity was always the big one from early on. I remember sitting in some rooms and the trainers would have like 23 steps to something. And by the 5th step, I'm already lost. I realized, okay, this is not for me. It's like, have you ever seen the movie Hitch with Will Smith? And he's teaching him to dance and he's like, look, this is where you live, right here. And he tries to do some, like, I want to do the Running Man. I want to do some stuff. And he slaps him. And for new distributors, in our company, we call them ambassadors, you got to dumb everything down to its lowest common denominator. And I'm always like, say less to more people. You got to use your mouth way less than you are, because unfortunately, a lot of the companies don't have the right training. So we think, like I did very early, I thought I had to become a salesperson. I thought, I didn't know really what that meant. I'm from a whole different, the salespeople I knew were different, but I thought I had to stiffen up and talk like this. And I came up with a fancy title for myself. And my friends were like, dude, what is wrong with you? Don't drink the Kool-Aid type thing. What kind of cult did you get yourself into? So number one, the same thing we teach when we're teaching people to build their brands, and we teach them how to build, large social media followings. And it's crazy we have to teach this, is be authentic. And someone had to tell me that at one point, because I didn't know. I thought I had to put on this front for people to like me, or for people not to judge me, or for people to join me. When I finally got over that, and I said, look, this is me. This is what you get, like it or not, whatever. I got to keep rolling. I ain't got time. Les Brown, I wrote a book with Les Brown called The Power of One. Terrible book. His part was great. My part sucks so bad. If anybody wants it, I'll send it to you for kindling for your fireplace. But Les Brown one time said to me, he said, it's none of my spiritual business what other people think about me. And when I really started to internalize that, because that's where we mess up. Where network marketers mess up? They listen to these people that say, oh, my best friend's cousin's sister says it's a scam. And now I'm all derailed for the day, sucking my thumb in the fetal position. Oh, I can't believe it. And then I'm not doing anything. So once you get it, I'll look you in the eye, and with clarity and conviction, you will know this. I probably won't tell you the whole story. With clarity and conviction, I'll point to one of my tools, which is on an app, that sends you a video and say, look, man, I'm telling you, you could be watching Netflix now. I'll show you how to make 30 exposures while you're watching Netflix. Hang out with your family, not be stressed out. and then watch it. And then we got it set up so it gets feedback rolling back. So we just created the tools that I saw like my chief marketing officer, Cody Sperber. This dude's got millions of followers on social media, generates millions of dollars per month for his other businesses, all online. I said, I want a guy like you to be part of this company, to teach those techniques to network marketers who would tattoo the name of their company on their neck. They love what they do so much, but the company's not giving them the tools. They're not giving the insight. They're not giving them they're not empowering them to go and do this stuff. I want to give it all to them. The stuff you do, I want to show someone, here's how you can make $1 million a month in a company like this, because you can't do it going door to door. You can't do it chasing down, Auntie Lulu for the 57th time to buy the product. And she's not, she ain't going to do it. And so we really thought different about duplication and putting audit, because people are busy, bro. Even during the pandemic, people were busy. They were stuck in the house. Somehow they were still busy. I wanted to create real simple systems and automate those systems. So let the network marketers do what they do best. Put people in the pipeline, put them in the pipeline, then let the pipeline do the sorting. Because what do they say? The cliche, amateurs, they convince professional sort. And all that sounds great from stage. If you're a big time network marketer, you ain't recruited nobody in 20 years. So you're going to say all this stuff from the stage. Sounds great. I'm all bubbly and yes, exciting. But what does that mean? Because, well, nobody built the system around. So we built the system around all the cliches that all of us big income earners tend to use from the stage. I said, well, instead of me giving lip service to stuff, let's actually have the things to do this. And most of us didn't know how to build it. So I just went out and took my money and I found people, and I, $300,000 later, I put together an incredible group of people that really get how to do this stuff, and we created it for the entire army. So now it can duplicate like a machine. Then you just change out the language. You go into another country, I just put in a different language, and boom, it's the same thing. And we do it over and over and over and over.
Well, I love that. I think getting successful people around you, and I actually haven't heard of a company, I applaud you, where they're actually helping people with social media and branding and teaching people that. There's definitely leaders in other companies. So I want to be careful what I say, because they're my friends. I know there's leaders in other companies, they probably charge for that a little bit, right? And probably they do some on their team, in their organization, they might do a little bit. But as far as being endorsed by a company, that's awesome. Because look, that's what the phone's the new TV, right?
Yeah, companies are afraid. They're afraid that, again, that you're going to take your influence and take their people. I'm like, look, they're not your people. Set your people free, man. So it's just like, if you have something else going on in your life, I want to encourage that. If you come in and you help us, like we're here, you come here, you help us get here, and then, you're going to live your life. I'm going to say, thank you for getting us here. We got some more people that are coming in to get us here. In here, and then the core, the foundation people will be there. And if you treat them right, recognition's a big part of that. You pay them appropriately. I've had people with me for 27 years, bro. It doesn't, and I've only been in 3 different companies, just so everyone knows. I'm not a guy who goes from deal to deal. I've been in 3 companies in 27 years. So this is my 4th company, which makes sense. It's the progression, 27 years, building. Now I'm the CEO of a company. The name kind of freaks me out. The whole CEO thing freaks me out. I'm like, I'm going to be the head recruiter, customer getter, out in front, showing you how to do it. And as a pioneer in a new company, let me take the arrows, because here's what I believe. I believe the pioneers are the ones that are willing to do this stuff. Yeah, you're going to take some hits, but you also get written about in the history books. I want to be written about in the history. I want this company and our team and what we're doing to be saying, look, this was the new way. Because network marketing was about to go the way of the dinosaurs, because like Blockbuster, it was there. Everything was out there. You could see it. Netflix was clearly coming, but somebody had buried their head in the sand and thought, we're too big, we're too great, we're too whatever. And next thing you know, you're gone. Amway did what, $9-10 billion last year. It doesn't mean they can't be gone at some point.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think too is, Amway's majority of sales is over in Asia, right? Yeah. There's companies, I think, besides when the pandemic came, there's companies that struggle. Look, before we let you go, where can they find you? Where can they find your company? How can people find you on social media? What are your platforms? Where can they get a hold of you?
I focus most of my attention on Instagram. I've got we got a big page called Build Your Empire on Instagram. But mainly the one that I handle myself is my personal page, which is John, John Malott, Malott. So at John.Malott. I respond to all my DMs personally. It might take me a little while, but I get through everything, and that's where I engage the most. So there, and then of course we got our O Snap Active. The company is actually called O Snap Active Lifestyle, and it's O with no H and then SNAP Active Lifestyle, because we don't believe that supplements are enough. If that was it, I could just bamboozle you into buying our supplements, and then nothing changes. Like, get off the couch. We're renting out. I'm not gonna tell you all the things we do, but we do things on a nation where we get people out with us, and then we live stream it. We're hiking together, we're climbing mountains, we're working out together, we party together. So anyhow, we have a blast, because it's more to it than just supplements. Health and wellness, that's one piece to it, but we're transforming minds, bodies, and bank accounts, and it really starts with the mind.
Well, I love it, because, you know, if you develop people, your company develops, and that's really what you're all about, is developing people. And if you get good people in your company that are fresh, that are current, that are staying close to the fire, and they're hanging around, you know, as iron sharpens iron, so as one man sharpens another, 27:17 Proverbs, you know, your company is going to get better. And that's what I like about you, John. And so we appreciate you for coming on board. Any last departing words?
No, man, I love, again, I'm going to edify you, because I love what you're doing. I love this type of platform. I love that we're bringing energy, we're bringing positivity. You're showcasing a lot of the right people, you know, on this platform. We just need more of it, bro. And if I can ever be of service anytime in the future, let me know. I'm happy to assist.
Well, I'm a big fan. We met at church a little over a year and a half ago, almost 2 years actually now, almost 2 years ago. It was 2 years in May, now I think of it. And but anyways, big fan of yours. His name is O Snap, his new company that's just about to launch, O Snap, and his name is John Malott. Thanks, John, for serving us. God bless.
God bless you. Appreciate it.